520.
It is 5:09 here on KHTS. The Main Theater presents Appaloosa Fridays and Saturdays through April 20th, beginning this weekend. Joining me to discuss Santa Clarita's latest on-stage production is Nancy Lantis, Mike Flemming, and Janice Christansen. Welcome.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the studio right down the street from the Main.
The magic is here, baby.
The magic is here. It's finally here. How long have we been working on this?
Well, my husband would say in his mind he's been working on it. He wrote it, Phil Lantis, for several years now, sort of formulating in his head. He wrote it in 2 days. Thank you very much.
Really?
And, yeah.
That's
it? That's it. That's pretty much it. And it was a long 2 days, but he wrote it. He was inspired, and so it kind of came stream of consciousness. We've been rehearsing 6 weeks.
6 weeks, really? Is there? Let's get into the story of Appaloosa first, because this is not an adapted screenplay; it's an original work. What is the story of Appaloosa?
Well, it's the story of two estranged brothers who have to come home because their ailing mother is falling deeper into dementia, and they need to reveal secrets and past hurts and forgive, and the women and bacon and humor in their lives try to heal them.
Awesome.
Yes.
Bacon always heals.
That's what I'm saying.
I have it tatted on my back. That's how much I believe in it. So, Mike, what role are you playing?
I'm playing the elder brother, Tom, and part of the drama is that I left home when I was 19.
Oh, you've disconnected.
And this is the first time that I've been back at this ranch in 45 years.
Wow.
And I hadn't seen my brother in 13 years, and even then maybe twice over the last 45 years. And so we got a lot of stuff to work out, and it all happens live.
And it all happens live on stage on Friday night. Now, Janice, you're also in the production. You were cast. Were you cast as the mom battling dementia?
Yes.
Is that the role? Is that a tough role to play?
Very.
Emotionally, right?
Very.
Right.
Very
taxing.
difficult. Yes, well, but I can forget. I can forget a lot.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, that blank look.
That
when
blank
she
look
loses
that I'm giving you
lines, it
right
works.
now.
Right, yeah. Believe me, I'm very familiar with that look.
Difficult role. I certainly had to go in and do some research, and I also have a mother who is 95 and who has been diagnosed with dementia. So when I'm visiting her, I get a sense of what goes on, how people have a hard time to communicate, and the sounds and the smells and so it's a difficult role.
So it hits very close to home
touches,
for you.
It touches home, yeah.
So Nancy, talk to me about casting. Was Janice, these were your first choices, correct?
They really were, actually. My husband wrote it with Mike and one of the other actors, Jim Sudik, in mind. It's a story that I can let Mike tell you about why that happened. But he had them cast already in it and wanted to do it. And the other, and Janice and the other two actresses, Bridget Palacey and Heidi Watul, came for the reading, and I was like, this is awesome. I want y'all. And they were willing to do it and go on this ride with us. So
Mike, let's talk a little bit about that casting story.
Well, Phil and I worked together at the city of Santa Clarita. I was there for 16 years, and he was my boss, and I tried as much as possible to give him a rough time during those 16 years. Anyway, he knew I was a musician and an actor. I mostly acted back in my 20s, and I'd always said, God, it'd be fun, when I retire, especially to do theater again. And he said, I remember him saying, I'd like to write a show with you in mind because, we told a lot of theater stories and my stories of being on the road, doing music and all that stuff. So he called me about 8 weeks ago and said, hey, do you want to read for this? No obligations. And I read it, and I got emotional. It was such a beautiful piece. I just said, yeah, sign me up. I'm done.
Well, and the deeper story there is that Phil also knows Jim Sudik from working on a defunct Theater Arts for Children nonprofit, and he only recently, like a few years ago, realized that Jim and Mike knew each other from doing a production of 1776 back in 1976 for the bicentennial. They'd worked together, yeah.
In Colorado, yeah.
And had not worked since then, but it was sort of like kismet.
Wow,
it had to happen.
So Mike, you just got the script 8 weeks ago. Is it difficult to remember a whole 2-hour production? Is it difficult to remember your lines?
Yeah, more so now that I'm not 20 years old anymore. But, yes. But on the other hand, this is a well-written show, and Phil has captured the conversation especially of people from this region, I think, very well. And so I found that it almost talks itself sometimes. That's not to say that I haven't had my moments on stage and during rehearsals but
it's rehearsals.
It is challenging, but that's part of the fun. It's good to keep the brain working,
Yeah. So Janice, are there any methods that you take to kind of memorize your lines?
Oh, hours and hours and hours. It might
Is
not
that what it
appear that
takes?
way, but it really does.
Yeah.
For some of our perhaps a little older mind, it does take hours and hours. And as I work, it's a constancy of changing up how I'm feeling about it or seeing the picture as I'm talking. So it's but I love it.
I can imagine.
I love it.
And Janice's role is particular because it's mostly monologues. She doesn't really communicate a lot with the other characters in the play, as
That's
you'll see.
tough.
Yeah.
Because I figure when there's good dialogue, then it's easy to remember the lines because it
yeah.
flows. But when it's a monologue, especially playing someone with dementia.
Yes, because then you do get lost.
Yeah.
You get lost in your own mind.
Right.
Yeah, it's difficult. I do have one interchange with one of my sons, Mike, down there, and we have a little issue because I think I get a little forgetful even in that passage. But
it's scary.
It's scary.
Actually.
We are scared in that scene.
So it's going to be a classy
Honestly,
night.
so.
Yeah.
Opening night
Yeah.
is this Friday
That's
at
right.
8 p.m., correct?
At 8 p.m.
At 8 p.m. Are we advising people to come in and dress classy? Can you dress down for this? Is there a dress code?
This is
Dress
just come, whatever you
come.
want to wear. I know it's going to be Friday nights at 8 o'clock, Saturdays at 2 p.m. and 8 o'clock, and then this Sunday at 2 p.m.
This Sunday at 2 p.m. Next Sunday, not
Is
going to be
Easter.
there.
No.
No.
We tear it down, baby.
Eclipse Theater proudly presents the world premiere of Appaloosa by Phil Lantis, a script 2 years in the making, but really only 2 nights in the making,
In the
correct?
writing, yeah.
In the
Yeah.
writing, correct. Select seats remaining. You can grab them online at atthemain.org, atthemain.org. Anything else, guys, before we sign off
No,
here?
yeehaw.
Oh, yeah. All right, Mike, Nancy, and Janice, thank you guys so much for coming in, and best of luck with the
Thank
production.
you so
Aaron.
much.
Of course, it is 5:17 here on KHTS. Time for a quick break. Stay tuned. Traffic coming up.